Foop. Foop. There's a noob tube. It's from Modern Warfare, the first one. Welcome to AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Season 3, Episode 72. My name is Michael Marcanio. I got my nose congested. I want to take a Dremel tool to it and remove it from my face. But I'm here with my boy Tyler Revelis, also known as It's Your Boy T. We're here to talk about Waiver Wire. This is going to come out last second, so hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of this episode. It's going to be a quicker one for you today, but like always, if you don't have time for the entire podcast, we have a little table of contents within the description, and they have timestamps in there, so you can easily navigate through the episode and get all the information you need without having to listen to the whole thing. Because we get it, your time is precious, and we're getting this episode a little bit late this week, so really got to take advantage of that this week. So, so we're going waiver wire. Week 10 is in the books. We're going into week 11. Pretty wild.
Get into the nitty-gritty.
Sorry.
Get into the nitty-gritty.
Get into the nitty-gritty.
Well, like I say, like you said, the waiver wires are dropping tonight. It's Tuesday going into Wednesday. But I'm in a couple leagues where they go Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Into Thursday. And I think that's actually better.
Yeah.
I think that one day, right after the Monday night game, if it was up to me,
well, because
I guess what I'm trying to say is I personally like the waivers that go through on Wednesday night, not Tuesday night.
Well, there's like a lot of things that, it's nice to be able to see like if people are practicing or like, what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do those Tuesday night ones, you really have no idea what you're going to get. So
sometimes it's a shot in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel you on that one too. I'm in the same boat, and in one of my leagues, it's like that too. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna get into today, baby. Well, waiver wire episode. Boom. You want to just get into it? Oh, by the way, these, if you haven't noticed, we haven't been doing the live streams. It's because we got a copyright strike. I've been trying to tell people on the podcast that that's what's been happening. So if you subscribe to us because of that, and you're like, where are these live streams at? That's what happened. So we can't do it for like 90 days. So yeah.
Yeah, we got a no.
Yeah.
They were like,
no.
No.
They were like, no. God, my gain is up so loud. But yeah, let's go into it. We're gonna pad the wire, baby.
Pad the wire. I just like hitting that button.
Yeah. So we got waiver wire. We always go quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and then we got some streaming defenses for this week too as well. So that will help you out as well. So we'll start on the quarterback side of the ball. We got Jameis Winston. It's really weird seeing Jameis Winston with the New Orleans Saints logo behind him, but there it is. Drew Brees goes down. He got a punctured lung, I think.
Broke
some ribs.
Broke a couple ribs.
Yeah, so Jameis Winston's coming in hot. I think this is a good ad. I think Jameis Winston, he's a little bit underrated, to be honest.
Yeah, gunslinger over there, Jameis Winston. Like I said, Drew Brees gets banged up, goes down. If you need a quarterback, maybe you got Brees, maybe you got Josh Allen who's on a bye. Maybe you're just playing the streaming options there. But, Jameis Winston's available, and I go get him. Who knows how long Brees is going to be out for. He might be out for the rest of the regular season. He might not come back until like a playoff run. But, the Saints have one of the best playoff schedules and one of the best remaining schedules for fantasy quarterbacks. And then what we're used to Jameis Winston being is this gunslinging quarterback. I think that just helps. A lot of people have been talking about Drew Brees not being able to push the ball down the field. He's lowest career yards per attempt, stuff like that. I think having Jameis will kind of help guys like Michael Thomas. He's got weapons. Jared Cook's a reliable tight end, could get it done. Manny Sanders, Traquan Smith, we've seen him have a couple good games. And then when you have this guy named Alvin Kamara that you could literally just throw a 2-yard pass to and he could take it 40, 50, 60 yards down the field, that doesn't hurt either. So, yeah, I do like Jameis Winston.
Yeah, if you need a quarterback, if you have Drew Brees, you should definitely be getting Jameis Winston, I think.
Yeah.
If you don't have like a solid second option,
Yeah.
Unless you have Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees somehow. But yeah, I'm with it. Pick it up.
Good schedule going forward for the rest of the season for Jameis Winston. And like I said, if he's the quarterback for the rest of the fantasy season, Could be a guy who potentially, helps you win your championship.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to try and talk the least just because I sound so stuffed up, but we'll go on to Kirk Cousins here. He was able to get it done against the Bears on Monday night. It was his first Monday Night Football win or what?
Yeah, he's 1-9 in his
Night Football.
10 career Monday Night Football games. Of course, the time I bet the Bears. Matt Nagy was 4-0 against the Vikings since he's taken over as the head coach for the Bears, and Kirk Cousins was 0-9 on Monday Night Football. So I'm thinking like,
money.
Start. Yeah, dude, money. No,
but little did you know it was due.
No, it was not money.
It was due.
It was due, I guess. Yeah, this is a guy that we said to sit. He doesn't put up the craziest number, only gets you 17.5 points. But, for a tough road game, division game against a stingy, tough Bears defense, he gets you 292 and 2 tugs. And then this week, if this is like more of a streaming option, he plays at home against the Dallas Cowboys. I know the Cowboys have been playing a little bit better as of late on the defensive side of the ball, but still one of the I don't want to say one of the worser defenses, or just not a very good defense in general, the Dallas Cowboys are. So, Kirk Cousins, 2 or more passing touchdowns in 4 of his last 5 games. Not a bad little streaming option there if you can't go get a guy like Jameis Winston for this week.
Yeah, so Kirk Cousins, more of a stream. Jameis Winston, long term. We can move on to the running backs here. We're going to go Wayne Gallman. Wayne Gallman has been killing it. You despise this guy. This guy is the reason you lost this week, right? In one of your leagues.
Yeah, I was playing against someone, and they had like the craziest running backs.
Wild.
It was like Wayne Gallman, Nyheim Hines, and Malcolm Brown, and these guys just all put up 2 touchdowns each. And I was kind of like, are you kidding me? These guys are all like on the waiver wire, and this guy just, he had Rojo, who hasn't done anything forever, come out and put up crazy. Anyways, yeah, so that was
that's frustrating.
To me. But Gallman, we said it before. I don't know if it was the last waiver wire episode or maybe even on the start him sit him, because I feel like this is a guy we've kind of been like, oh, sit him. It's not a good offense. The line's bad.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we said on one of the podcasts, he's a starting running back and he's on the waiver wire. So, you don't find guys like that. Just on the waiver wire, starting running backs. He's available in 50% of ESPN leagues at least. But, he's had a touchdown in 4 straight games. Like, the yards per carry isn't pretty. Like, he's not getting it done. He's not, like, putting up these crazy numbers. He has yet to get 70 yards on the ground in any one of these games. But he's finding the end zone. He's got 5 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. Touchdowns are king, and when they're getting in close, they're giving the ball to Wayne Gallman. Devontae Freeman is on IR with the ankle injury, so he's going to be out for a couple more weeks. And we've seen Gallman kind of be the guy there for the New York Giants. So yeah, if you need a running back, like I said, it's always good to have. You can never have enough running backs.
Do you know his
never have enough running backs.
What is he available? Is he available pretty?
Yeah, 50%.
50%. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's wild. If he's there for sure, grab him.
Yeah. Can he keep up this touchdown efficiency? Who knows? But when the Giants are getting in close, they're giving Gallman the football.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been consistent the past couple weeks too. So It's not like this Nyheim Hines thing where he'll just show up one week and not the next.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to Kalen Ballage, the Chargers running back. This is kind of crazy that we're talking about him on the waiver wire episode.
Yeah, it was another guy where you were just saying, like, I don't feel confident throwing Kalen Ballage into my lineup. And, I agreed after seeing it for only one game. It's like you just don't feel confident. The guy, as a Dolphins fan, he got drafted by Miami. He just wasn't very good. Now, could have just been the system. Could have been he was with Adam Gase, and Adam Gase is terrible. The offensive line for Miami wasn't very good. But, yeah, it looks like he's the guy right now until Eckler comes back. Justin Jackson, I think he's on IR with the knee injury. Joshua Kelly's kind of just, he's still a rookie, and I think he'll get some carries here and there. Tremaine Pope wasn't really utilized at all. But, Kalen Ballage, he got you 18 carries for 68 yards, and he gets you 5 catches. So, if you're in a PPR league, he's giving you a safe floor. And then if he finds the end zone, which he did 2 weeks ago against the Raiders, he puts up some solid numbers here. 15 and 16 points the last 2 weeks in full-point PPR leagues. The guy's getting the volume. It's another thing, like with Wayne Gallman. Yeah, it might not be pretty, but to find a player on the waiver wire who's going to get you 15 to 20 touches and some goal line work, that's a rare thing to find on the waiver wire. And when those players are there, it's usually wise to go grab them.
Yeah, it's crazy to say go grab Kalen Ballage, but go do it, I guess.
I mean, they were just – I feel like we were watching that Dolphins game versus the Chargers, and it seemed like every play was Kalen Ballage. Run the ball, Kalen Ballage, throw the pass to Kalen Ballage. Run the ball, Kalen Ballage, throw the pass to Kalen Ballage. It was like the whole offense was – I feel like for the most part, Miami kind of shut down Mike Williams, and then they basically blanketed Keenan Allen until like the very last couple minutes of the game. Keenan Allen scores on this like little crossing route, saves the day if you had Keenan Allen in fantasy. So they were really just leaning on Kalen Ballage, running the ball. And then, like I said, he's a capable pass catcher out of the backfield. So, yeah, it might be gross, but
yeah,
Ballage is out there.
Do it. All right, we could go on to the next one here. We got Damien Harris.
I feel like
sounds so bad right now. I can't even. This is the Tyler Ravella show right now.
Yeah. I feel like Damien Harris is this year's John Brown for us. I mean, last year we'd always be like, John Brown. Hey, John Brown. Hey, there's a guy John Brown out there. He's top 20 receiver. Hey, John Brown, go get John Brown. And like we just every year or every week, John Brown was still available last year, and he was balling for whatever reason. But I feel like we've been talking about Damien Harris every single episode, and it's like I still don't see his like percentage go up at all. I mean, he's 40% available in ESPN leagues. I'm not sure with NFL and all that stuff, but here's a guy who he's been getting a good amount of the workload. I mean, 22 carries last week. He's got 300-yard rushing games in 6 total games. And every single game, I think outside of one, he's averaging over 5 yards per carry when he gets the ball. Now, there's no receiving upside for him. He's only got 2 catches in those 6 games. That's more Burkhead and James White. But, I mean, a guy who's getting majority of, like, the carries for an offense that looks like they want to run the ball a lot with Cam Newton and Damien Harris. I would definitely go get Damien Harris. He'd be one of my highest waiver wire priorities. And then just a little sneak peek at a guy who will be one of my favorite running back starts of the week. Hashtag interesting stat right here. And 75% of Damien Harris's touches come on first down. That is the highest rate among all running backs. He's averaging 5.1 yards per carry on those touches. This week he plays against the Houston Texans. Not very good against the run. They give it up like Blair's would say.
I love that team.
Houston allows a league-high 5.7 yards per carry on first down rushing attempts. So the numbers, the stars are aligning for this to be a money matchup for Damien Harris. I think he's going to be a solid RB2. Probably get you another 100 yards on the ground this week against the Texans.
Bam. Damien Harris, light it up. Let's go on to Nyheim Hines. I'm literally just going to say the name and you take it away, dude, because this is ridiculous. I sound so bad. I don't have COVID, by the way, if anyone's like wondering. I don't have COVID. I just
yeah, you tested negative.
I don't know what's going on with me. I just can't breathe. That's all.
Yeah. But yeah, Nyheim Hines, I mean, I think we were all expecting after this week 7 bye, the Colts will kind of like, take the chains off Jonathan Taylor and just give him like a full kind of workhorse workload, but that has been the exact opposite. Jonathan Taylor could be one of the biggest busts. I feel like that's a guy who, if you have Jonathan Taylor, you feel so inclined to play him each and every week because, this talented rookie out of Wisconsin, right? Colts offensive line, so good. You're just thinking like, man, like he should be able to get you 15, 20 carries and just, tear the brakes off. Ran the fastest 40 for running backs, but Jonathan Taylor is just, one of the bigger disappointments so far. But yeah, since the week 7 bye, it's been Nyheim Hines who's been kind of, more incorporated. And, Jordan Wilkins had a good amount of carries. But, 4 touchdowns for Nyheim Hines in the last 3 games. We saw last year how, Phillip Rivers, he leaned on Eckler, that pass catching back. And I think when Marlon Mack first went down, we were expecting Nyheim Hines to be like that Austin Eckler for Rivers. A lot of check down passes, a good little shifty back out of the backfield. Yeah. But it just didn't really transpire. But maybe they're trying to incorporate a little bit more. Not a bad guy. He's boom or bust, but when he gets you those boom games, he's got 3 games over 20 points. So in PPR league. So if he gets you one of those boom games, like the player I played against this week, they had Nyheim Hines. He got 28 points against me. Those are games that can literally win you a week. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a bench player. That's a waiver wire player that you got putting up 28 points. So your starters are going to be putting up
Yeah.
I can't even talk. Jesus Christ. Salvon Ahmed.
It's Ahmed.
Ahmed.
It really is Ahmed.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like Savon.
Oh, there's no C in there.
Savon,
so.
yeah. I know.
No, it's not.
But his name is like Savon. You pronounce it like Salvon Ahmed. I think I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me there. But yeah, here's a guy, undrafted rookie. I know Dre really liked this guy coming out of Washington, but he was an undrafted rookie. You see,
Dre just likes every guy that nobody else is talking about. So that way, like if they do well,
Dre's got
like,
some good. He definitely,
you know what I mean?
The Messiah, the dynasty guy here for us. He definitely has got a nose to find.
No,
some
I mean
talent.
his eyeballs. I mean, but I notice it's like it seems like everyone. He's like, no, that guy could be good. That guy could be good, and then one of them gets a chance. He's like, "See, I knew it."
Nah, he's usually pretty spot on. I feel.
I don't know.
He's
Maybe
pretty good.
I'm just tripping.
Here was a guy where I guess he was talking about how he was talented, and if you see you're watching the template right now, he's in a Niners jersey because that's where he was with. First was the Niners. They let him go, and then Miami picks him up. He was on the practice squad, but then Myles Gaskin goes down on IR. Jordan Howard, they just cut him, so he's no longer on the Dolphins. He got waived. He's on the legit real life waiver wire right now. Matt Breida's banged up with the hammy, so you got Patrick Laird there, who's I don't think he's very good in my opinion. So it was Salvon Ahmed who got his opportunity, and he did look good for the most part. I mean, one thing I saw about this guy is super patient. Kind of reminded me of like Le'Veon Bell went behind the line of scrimmage. Like he'd get the ball and he kind of just like stand there for a second, and then he lets like the hole open up instead of like you see some of these running backs they'll just like run right into the line.
And he is number 26. Maybe he likes Bell. Maybe he grew up.
But yeah, super talented guy. Kind of like I said, good patience, good burst. So like he would if you watch the game or you see some of the highlights, if you want to go see some of his Washington highlights, it's pretty impressive too. Some of the runs he'll get the ball and he literally kind of just stands back there like how Le'Veon Bell would do it, and then the hole would open up and his burst is just like boom, and he's just gone. But yeah, for right now, Myles Gaskin's still on IR for a couple more weeks. He's got the MCL sprain. Who knows how long exactly Myles Gaskin is gonna be out for? But it was the Salvon Ahmed show this Sunday against the Chargers. I mean, 21 carries, 85 yards, gets you a touchdown, only one catch. I feel like the Dolphins, since Myles Gaskin's gone down, they've really abandoned, and this could be because of Tua, the transition from Fitzpatrick to Tua, but they've really abandoned throwing the running backs the football. And I'm not sure if that'll, go back to how it was when Gaskin comes back. But I mean, the running backs, Gaskin was getting you like 4 or 5 catches a game, and since Gaskin's been out, I think these running backs combined have like 2, maybe 3 catches in the last couple weeks. So it's just they're not incorporating the running backs in the passing game. It could be Tua, but yeah. But in the meantime, you're going to have Salvon Ahmed be the guy for the Miami Dolphins. Maybe that's why they felt comfortable getting rid of Jordan Howard. They did trade for and get DeAndre Washington from the Kansas City Chiefs, but I think that was more just of a depth play because Gaskin got hurt. But yeah, Salvon Ahmed, he's a starting running back.
Yeah, it looks good. I'll add him. Let's go wide receivers here. We'll go first, Michael Pittman Jr. I love this. Michael Pittman Jr. was getting highly targeted against the Titans.
Yeah, he gets 8 targets on Thursday night, catches 7 passes, 101 yards, gets a rush for 21 yards too. He almost found the end zone twice. I feel like on the end around he almost scored, and then he caught another pass where he got tackled at like within the 5-yard line.
A lot of his catches were all like there wasn't anybody on him.
Yeah,
what's it called? Yeah, sorry. I was gonna I can't even remember what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I mean this was one of my favorite receivers coming into the NFL this year. I thought this guy is one of the safest, like can't miss prospects to come into the league. I get it. We're seeing guys like T. Higgins who's been balling. I mean, you got Justin Jefferson. Judy obviously is a savage. CD's a savage. But Michael Pittman was a guy I feel like just with how deep this wide receiver class was kind of being slept on. And you kind of saw a little breakout game from him right there. I mean, the last 2 games he's had 4 catches, 56 yards, and then the last game 7 catches and 101 yards. And for whatever reason, T.Y. Hilton is just non-existent. He's just I don't know what it is. I don't think he's going to be on that team next season. Paris Campbell's, he's got the knee, and he's been out since week 2, and you literally can't find any reports on him. It just says he's got a knee injury, MCL, PCL, something like that. Zach Pascal's there, obviously, as well. But, there's obviously a reason why they went out and got Michael Pittman. And, he was banged up for couple of weeks. But I think now you're starting to see him get more and more incorporated. Like we'd always say, it kind of hurts some of these rookies not having a rookie mini camp, not having preseason. They're coming in, they're learning the offense, the verbiage, all that stuff. He's got to get like the rapport and chemistry with Phillip Rivers. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite waiver wire pickups of the week too. I love Michael Pittman Jr. I think the guy's super talented.
Yeah, Michael Pittman. 8 targets from Phillip Rivers is like 12 targets for a regular quarterback. That's what I was going to say earlier. Let's go on to Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at this one, you're probably thinking like, yeah, Deebo Samuel, we get it with T. But, I mean, looking at his ownership, I mean, he's still like, there's like 40+% available in a lot of leagues. I think people just are forgetting how good Deebo Samuel really is. I get it. He's kind of still banged up. Got the hamstring. Is he going to come back this week? Not 100% sure. They're on a bye, I believe, this week. Let me just check that. I want to double check that. Yeah, they're on a bye this week. But yeah, I would go get Deebo Samuel because I'm assuming after the bye, just extra time to get healthy and recover, he'll be back. And, they need pass catchers. I mean, Brandon Ayuk's been a savage. He's been, a stud receiver, another good rookie wide receiver. I mean, Jordan Reed kind of a little more incorporated this second game. But outside of that, with that Kittle being out, they need some pass catchers right there. And Deebo Samuel is, I don't want to say the centerpiece of this offense, but he's a main part of what the 49ers want to do. So if someone dropped him because, he hasn't put up anything, he's been hurt, I would definitely go out and get Deebo Samuel. Even a good little buy low candidate right before the trade deadline comes up. Maybe you go out there, you throw a little trade offer out to somebody, and you probably get Deebo for dirt cheap. I would definitely try to get Deebo Samuel on my team.
Definitely. Put him on your team. Josh Reynolds is going to Josh Reynolds, a Rams receiver.
Yeah, this is one of Dre's guys this week for the stardom situm. I don't think we threw it in there because I couldn't make the template. Computer was computer was on the fritz. Not working too good over there trying to make some of these templates. But, Dre was like, yeah, throw Josh Reynolds in there. That was kind of like his sleeper of the week. I mean, he comes down and puts up a crazy good game. 8 catches, 94 yards. He's been pretty consistent. In PPR leagues, he's had 12 or more in 3 of the last 4 games. And he's had his targets the last 3 weeks, 8, 9, and 10. And in 2 of the 3 games, he's actually out-targeted both Cooper Kupp and Bobby Trees. So, I mean, for so long, or not for so long, I feel like for a couple seasons, you were drafting Cooper Kupp, you were drafting, Brandon Cooks, you're drafting Bobby Trees. Sometimes those guys were like all top 20 wide receivers in the rankings. So what makes us think that can be the scenario again with a guy like Josh Reynolds? I mean, obviously they like him. That's probably why they moved on from Brandon Cooks, because they saw what they had in Josh Reynolds. So, yeah, for a pass-happy offense like the Los Angeles Rams, not mad at going to get – I mean, the targets are there. I mean, 8, 9, and 10 the last 3 weeks. You cannot deny that volume he's getting right there.
Yeah, definitely. Go get Josh Reynolds. Jakobi Myers. I know, dude. It's so –
Say it again.
Jakobi Myers.
You see how you sound? That's how I was every single day before I got I had
your surgery.
A deviated septum, and I had a polyp in there. So the polyp was like, it's like a little balloon. It was basically blocking my airwaves. But that's exactly how I felt and how I sounded every single day. You see how miserable you are?
No, it's not that bad. I'm not like a little bitch, so.
Oh,
it's not that bad.
Dude.
No, this sucks, dude. This sucks so bad. This sucks so bad. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, but yeah, that was my life before I got that surgery on my nose for that.
Bro, this is the worst.
But I digress. Jakobi Myers, though, he's been balling. He's been
Hansel, so hot right now.
He's been hot like Hansel. I mean, since he's come a couple weeks, he missed some games, but I mean, since week 7, 10 points, 14 points, 29 points, and 16 points. That's in full point PPR. And he's just getting the targets. I know Cam has not looked the greatest, and he's not throwing the ball a ton, but 3 straight weeks, Jakobi Myers has had a 40% target share. That is absurd and outrageous to get that amount of targets per game. So that means every time Cam throws the ball 10 times, Jakobi Myers is getting 4 of those. So if he throws the ball 20 times, he's getting 8 targets. If he throws the ball 30 times, he's going to get 12 targets. So he's just hyper targeting Jakobi Myers. Like, he's dropping back and he's like, "Where's Jakobi Myers? I'm throwing him the football." and that's it. I think he was the only wide receiver this last game to even get a target from Cam Newton. I get it. Julian Edelman's banged up with the knees on IR. N'Keal Harry's banged up as well when he comes back. But even then,
they have more than one receiver. I mean, like,
yeah. But even when those guys come back, it might help Jakobi Myers because now you know, I get N'Keal Harry and Edelman haven't been playing that great, but they're better than the other guy, Damien Bird, and Gunner of Zalowski or whatever his name is. N'Keal Harry is better than them. So is Julian Edelman. So I think it could just help Jakobi Myers. But yeah, Jakobi Myers, one of my favorite pickups this week. Go get him. He's available in a ton of leagues. 62% available. He actually threw a touchdown pass this week. So he got you 5 for 59, nice. And then he threw a touchdown as well. Jakobi Myers, like one of those guys where it looks like he's just going to have a safe floor week in and week out. Just be like a solid flex guy each and every week.
Flex him up. All right, let's go on to the next one here. We got Alan Lazard. Is he coming back officially?
They said that he kind of re-aggravated his core injury, so they weren't going to activate him this last week. This is more of a speculative ad because we don't know if he's going to come back this week or not. But I think once he comes, we've seen MVS kind of turn it on the last couple games, but I think Alan Lazard has been playing better than MVS. MVS is just so boom or bust. If there's a receiver on the waiver wire and I can get him, and Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the football, usually you probably want to try and get that receiver on your team. So just more of a speculative ad. Go grab him because he might come off IR this week.
Which would be money for your fantasy team. All right, do it. Go grab Alan Lazard. Let's go on to Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley pissed me off this week because he lost me a league because I was playing against him. But he's been getting so much more involved. It's crazy.
Yeah. If I told you there was a top 20 wide receiver on the waiver wire, you would probably go get that player, right? Well, that's Cole Beasley.
Yeah.
I know prior to last game, he had a couple dud games, but the guy's had such a super safe floor. He's pretty much gotten you 10 or more PPR points in every single game in 8 of the 10 games he's played. 11 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown this last week. Puts up a monster game. A couple games before that, another 11 catches, 112 yards. He's got 300-yard games on the season. Just a guy who's just kind of like a PPR I feel like for what Edelman was, or Wes Welker back in the day, even Jarvis Landry, I guess you could say. These guys where you're thinking of guys just being like a PPR monster who's going to get you 5-6 catches, 50, 60 yards each and every week. That's what Cole Beasley's been doing this year, and he was even doing that last year. So yeah, I would definitely go get Cole Beasley. If you're in a 3 wide receiver league or even a flex guy, he's a perfect 3rd wide receiver flex option. He's a top 20 wide receiver right now,
which is wild.
Yeah.
Wild. All right, let's go. Here we go to the tight ends. We got 2 of them here. First off, we got Zach Ertz coming back.
Yeah, I think he's slated to come off IR, so now that kind of puts him in this 21-day window of where he can practice, and he doesn't necessarily have to play. But if he's not healthy after the 21 days, then I think he has to go back on IR or something like that. But I'm assuming if they're activating him off of IR, then he should be close to be good to go this week coming up. I feel like people are forgetting how good Zach Ertz is. I know some people are saying oh, he's washed, he's not that good anymore. He's still in a contract year. He's still pretty reliable. I still feel like that's Carson Wentz's go-to guy. I think his problem was that, when he was the only option there. You got Alshon Jeffrey has been out. Deshaun Jackson was banged up. Rager got banged up right away. Goddard got hurt. Miles Sanders missed a couple games. So it's literally all they had on offense was Zach Ertz. And if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not even an NFL defensive coordinator, but I understand football. And so if I'm an NFL defensive coordinator, if I'm playing against the Eagles, all I'm doing is just blanketing Zach Ertz. I'm okay, let's just eliminate Zach Ertz, and we'll see if, obviously Fulgham's kind of emerged, but it's I'm going to let these other guys, Fulgham, Hightower, Greg Ward, Boston Scott, I'm going to let these guys try to beat me, not Zach Ertz. So I think having all those weapons back, Goddard's back, Rager's back, Fulgham's emerged, like I said, I think that can help Zach Ertz, and he's been dropped in a ton of leagues. I think he was 40+% available in some leagues.
That's wild.
Yeah, wild. So yeah, I would go get him and throw him on your bench. It is the
It's late,
trade
but-
deadline's coming up, so maybe you grab him, and if you have a
He has a
decent
big
tight end right
game,
now,
or-
yeah, you trade him. And even if he doesn't ball, whatever, you just drop him again. But at the same time, like, I don't want my opponent to go get Zach Ertz on the waiver wire, and then now I'm in the playoffs and Zach Ertz comes out and has this monster game and I lose because
Yeah,
Zach Ertz. Like,
definitely.
I'd rather have Zach Ertz on my bench put up 30 points instead of Zach Ertz against me in the playoffs putting up 30 points, and now I'm out of the playoffs because I was like, oh, Zach Ertz sucks, or I have a tight end already. I'm not going to go get him. So, yeah, I would go get Zach Ertz, and I think the risk is worth the reward of
For
getting
sure.
him and putting him on in your team.
I definitely agree. We'll go on to the last tight end here. We got Jordan Reed. It's like these guys keep trading, switching off. Jordan Reed and George Kittle.
Yeah, I mean, George Kittle is banged up. He might be out for the entire season. He's got like a little one of those like little bones in your foot out of the 100 bones that you have in your foot. He fractured one of
Little
those or he
bones.
broke it. So it's one of those injuries where you can't rush it. Like, you have to let the bone heal. And, I mean, a bone isn't going to heal itself in a couple weeks. Most likely he's pretty much going to be done for the season, I would think so. But, yeah, Jordan Reed's been the guy to kind of step in and take over that receiving role, tight end for the 49ers. I mean, I get it that first week, Thursday Night Football came out. He just got activated off IR. Doesn't put up a good stat for you. Gets you a dud game. But this week against the Saints, 5 catches for 62 yards. He had that crazy one-handed catch. You see when he like scooped the ball off the ground barely.
Oh yeah.
He the ball's
That
on the
was
ground. He
wild.
one hand reached down and just literally just fingertipped the ball off the ground. Good little catch right there. But yeah, if you need a tight end, they're on bye this week, so maybe you don't have to go out and waste a waiver claim on him. Maybe just throw $1 fab if you're in a fab league. But a guy where it looks like as long as he can stay healthy, I feel like Jordan Reed's been good when he's healthy. It's never been like, oh, Jordan Reed sucks. It's just, can Jordan Reed stay healthy, which he's struggled with throughout his career. But when they come back from the Week 9 bye, they got the Rams, Buffalo, Washington, Dallas, Arizona. I mean, none of those are really crazy in terms of like, oh, I don't want to start this guy.
Washington's not very good against tight ends.
Yeah. Revenge game, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jordan Reed would be a guy where I'd be going to get if you're in need of tight end help.
Nice. All right, if you're streaming defenses, right here we got you. First one here, we have the Miami Dolphins. It sounds like I'm faking this, dude. I literally like.
Now we've got the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm not even. But yeah, Miami Dolphins defense. You guys are great. Yeah, your guys' defense is good. Your
Yeah.
secondary is really good.
Yeah. I was I can't remember what episode we did it, but I wanted to go look for it and try to clip it. Just it was a good call. Obviously, I'm a Dolphins fan. Anthony's a Dolphins fan. Billabong boy, but we were telling people like, yeah, this is not the same Miami Dolphins defense that it was last year. We got a ton of free agents. We drafted some defensive players as well. I mean, you go out and we're getting Xavier Howard back, who was hurt all last year. I think people are seeing exactly how good Xavier Howard is. He's tied for the league lead in interceptions. He's got 5. But yeah, this Miami Dolphins defense is nasty. I mean, it's like, as a Dolphins fan, it's hype because just to see like our defense struggle for so many years, to actually see them come out and like be, I don't know if we can say dominant at this point, but I mean they've been pretty dominant. Limiting some of these offenses. I think they're like top 10 in terms of like points scored, like against, sacks, pressure rate, QB hits, like all those things. But yeah, they're playing at Denver this week. Drew Lock's banged up. We're not even sure if he's going to play, so that's just good. And then they get the Jets week 12. They're home against the Bengals in week 13, so you could probably play the Dolphins defense all 3 of those weeks. Weeks 14, you get the Chiefs, and then weeks 15, 16, the Patriots and the Raiders. I wouldn't be mad at starting the Dolphins then. So if you pick up the Dolphins defense, you could legit start them for, 5 of the next 6 games, 4 of the next 6 games. And they've been balling.
Xavier Howard's so good.
He's hella good.
Let's go to the Cleveland Browns defense. They got a good matchup this week.
Yeah, right here it says in the notes.
Like their official notes. In the official AVG notes.
The official. Oh, never mind. I thought it was maybe that's the next match. Oh, the next team we're talking about. Oh, yeah, but the Browns, they're at home against the Eagles. Eagles offensive line, not very good. Browns defensive line, pretty good. They got this guy named Myles Garrett who's gotten I think he's gotten a sack in like 7 or 8 straight games. He's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. He's pretty good.
Oh, it should be TJ Watt.
He's pretty good, Myles Garrett. Yeah, so, I mean, Carson Wentz has been known to throw picks. I think I can't remember the stats exactly, but, I mean, there was a stretch where he was throwing 2 interceptions a game. And so Carson Wentz, turnover prone, offensive line not very good for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Browns at home. Yeah, I do like the Browns as a potential streaming off defense this week.
Yeah, that's a good one there. Cleveland Browns. Let's go to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Okay, this is the one where I was like, C notes. The notes
C
right
notes.
Here. C notes.
C
They're
notes.
playing against the Jets. End notes. I get it. Like, the Chargers defense has not been, I thought this was going to be one of the best defenses in the NFL. I mean, you got Bosa, who he missed last week, but Bosa, hopefully he comes back this week. Melvin Ingram. They drafted Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. Casey Hayward's pretty good. They had Desmond King. They traded him away, though. Derwin James and Chris Harris, those guys have been banged up. And, Derwin James, all-pro safety his rookie year, and then he's missed the last 2 years. Chris Harris is Pro Bowl corner. He's been banged up for majority of the year, too. But, I mean, when you're playing against Adam Gase and the Jets, I think that's a pretty good idea to stream that defense against the Jets. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Chargers.
Chargers.
Go,
Do it.
Chargers, go.
We'll fucking get him Chargers, bro. All right. That's it, baby. That's it for the waiver wire.
Bet the wire.
That's it for the waiver wire for season 3, episode 72. AVG Fantasy Football
Thanks
Podcast.
for listening to the podcast.
Thanks for listening to the podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Leave us a review on the Apple Podcast app. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on the Apple Podcast app, and then unsubscribe, and then resubscribe, because it helps us out. Leave us a rating and review. We'll read it out loud on the podcast. Let's see if I have a new one maybe I can read. Hold on.
Let's do it.
If I have it. Hold on, let's see. Here. Fuck. I don't have the podcast out. Okay, no.
Send it in.
We'll do it next time. Anyways,
Yeah, leave a review.
leave a review.
Please.
I just accidentally took it off my phone because it's clearing space. It's a long story. Anyways, but thanks for listening.
All that porn, dude.
Season 3, episode 72 of the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. Got to get this out to you. Appreciate you for listening. And us big boys are out.